Alright, so I've been wanting to talk about the Hornets and just the disastrous spot they're in and they've been in. Look, the last 30 years, they really haven't achieved nothing but like 2 playoff appearances. Look, when we talk about the Muggsy Bogues, Alonzo Mourning era, they made the second round once. And then we could skip all the way to 2016 when Kemba Walker carried them to a first round appearance. But ever since then, it's like they've been stuck in mediocrity. If you're a team that has nothing to lose, then act like it. And the Hornets just play it too safe. Imagine it like this, right? Imagine living in a motel your whole life, and you do absolutely nothing to try to solve the issue. You just accept your fate and live in a motel your whole life. This is honestly how it feels with the Hornets. It just seems like they're not trying. They're just another organization. And at this point, the NBA might as well just send them to the G League. Now look, was part of this due to Michael Jordan's terrible ownership? Yes. But they've been trashed. All the way to the Charlotte Bobcats, to the Muggsy Bogues days. And the only time I recall this team being good was when Chris Paul was carrying the hell out of the team. Which, by the way, 2008 Chris Paul, I still love you, bro. But look, this Hornets team needs to take risks. And I think Michael Jordan stepping down from ownership was the greatest thing that happened to this team in its whole existence, right? Because Michael Jordan was a terrible owner, he was holding the Hornets back, and his draft selection was terrible, besides Brandon Miller and LaMelo Ball. But even those 2 picks are pretty obvious, right? But I like the little squad that the Hornets have right now, I guess. Josh Green, Mark Williams, LaMelo Ball, Miles Bridges, and a few other good rookies that accommodate them. Look, this squad isn't in the low of low, but it's pretty damn low. Peter picked a purple pepper pecker ass statement, I know. But look, when we talk about this Hornets squad, there's not much talent. I know I was just praising them, but if we're being realistic, there's not one reliable player here who could be a first option on a contender. And I know some of you are saying, what about LaMelo, King Jazz 1? What about LaMelo? I've been saying it for the longest. LaMelo isn't a first option. Stop saying that. First off, his playstyle is not nearly a winning playstyle at all. And I'm not going to say that's the reason why the Hornets have not been achieving anything. Because if anything, it's the opposite, right? LaMelo is achieving things for the Hornets. But that step back 3-pointer that he always does, the flashy layups, the risky behind the back passes, they're not going to work against contending teams. They're going to blitz him. They're going to double him. He can't shoot that or else he's getting sent to the bench. And that leads me to my second point. LaMelo hasn't really got any ball pressure on him. Now, I know some of you are saying, Jazz, what do you mean? Well, I mean, teams aren't really blitzing LaMelo. So if LaMelo ever does reach that point where teams have to blitz him because maybe he's going off or maybe he's averaging 30 points, how do we know how he's going to play? And I know SG is an amazing passer, but we've seen some of the greatest playmakers fall under that pressure before. And we don't even know if this dude's a playoff choker or a playoff riser. Because the highest level we see him at is the fucking playing. Now, I can't ignore his upside, his 3-point skill, his amazing playmaking. Obviously, he'll be the perfect second option for any team. But in terms of being a first option, nah, I'm not with it. But the Hornets keeping Mark Williams was pretty interesting. Obviously, he survived that LA trade. He's making $25 million a year. If the Hornets really want to keep a winning piece to their future squad, which I know that sounds kind of crazy because I don't think they're doing any winning in the future soon, they can keep Mark Williams, I guess. I mean, if you're the Hornets, it seems like you're just gonna rebuild forever. Just have no contending at all. And it's kind of sad, right? And honestly, I think the Hornets should trade for a superstar. Because things have to switch up around this team. Whether it's culture, a new change in GM, and getting a new person for ownership was an amazing first move. But you gotta change something else up. This Hornets team identity is literally losing games. I mean, this team might go for 0-82. No cap. Like, I don't really see anything this Hornets team can achieve next year. I mean, maybe the play-in, but like, come on, bro. The play-in isn't a fucking achievement in 2025. I need to see the Hornets make a big trade to A, change the culture, and B, for the front office to actually wake the fuck up. Because it honestly seems like the owners of this team the last 2 decades just don't give a shit. And I pray that the Hornets find some kind of success in the future. Personally, me, I have them going 0-82 next season. Y'all can mark my words. And let's hope for a good LaMelo season. Look, I don't think LaMelo is really ever bad. I think he's just injured. I think if he was healthy for a full season, he could be an all-star. He really has that type of potential. especially on a shitty team like the Hornets. But I do think the Hornets kind of missed out not getting on a superstar in free agency. Now they're just kind of fucked. It honestly feels like this team's just gonna rebuild forever. I don't think they got no direction. I mean, I don't know how you completely blow out the Wizards and being ass. It's like the ass tournament. The Wizards vs Hornets in the ass finals. And the Hornets won the ass finals by a landslide. But I want to hear what y'all think, man. Do y'all think the Hornets can make the play-in next year? If y'all fuck with my content or like my videos, drop a sub, drop a like, and most importantly, turn notifications on. And until later, I'll see y'all on Mars. Peace.
You telling me you falling out of love with me. Hope you can find someone to love you better than I did. Taking our memories on love and treating it like nothing. Taking our memories on love and treating it like gossip. It's my love for my grandmother make me gentle when I care for you. Tell me you're falling out of love.